Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boldly Going. It is I, Merlin, sometimes known as Joe, and I got the Film Fanatics here with me. I got Dan over here, and Justin over there.
Howdy.
Today we're going back to talk about DS9. The episode is Duet, and I've decided that because I gave Next Gen to Dan, I gotta be fair, and I gotta give this one to Justin, because you typically like DS9.
Typically.
So I'm curious to see what you thought about Duet.
Alright, so this time around, the DS9 is yet again getting a new passenger.
Really?
And let's just say the person of interest is not well favored in the eyes of Major Kira, who I'm still shocked has not been court-martialed. Mm-hmm. Because, holy crap, the sheer way she's gone outside of her job by this point. And needless to say, has been interrogating him and is trying to get Cisco to overlook it so she can see if he is actually a war criminal that from a camp that she liberated way back when. Mm-hmm. And needless to say, things get a little bit complicated from there.
Some Bajoran Cardassian baggage, you know.
Yeah, it's the same things we've seen in literally 10 out of the 18 episodes that we've watched thus far.
Hey, it's DS9, man. They're on Bajor.
So
it happens.
I think here's the biggest issue I have with this episode.
Okay.
It works for what it is, but everything that's good about the episode is so much better in the Voyager episode Detrell, which is essentially the same plot, and is handled so much more clearly. Like, this one, we see Kira, yes, we get it, you're Bajoran, there's a whole conflict. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you're going way out of your wheelhouse. She's doing things that make her ridiculously unlikable in this episode. And while there's justification for that, it all leads to an ending that just kind of fizzles out.
Oh.
Makes everything that happened ahead of time, all the struggles, all the ethical dilemmas they've thrust in front of the viewer, completely and utterly useless. So honestly, I'm left with the dilemma of, had I watched this episode before I watched Detrell, would I have liked it more? The answer is I don't really know. Because, like I said, there are things that are good about this episode. Like, what it's trying to accomplish, I do legitimately like. I think, why do we keep making the same mistakes? Do we operate on prejudice? Do we let prejudice define our lives? These are big questions, and I think that's when Trek is at its finest hours.
It's true.
The problem is, I wish we had a better character to explore that with, or at least a stronger area to focus on it, or at least get some build up to that, like focus on other characters and then dive back to this big Kira heavy storyline.
You know, I just get this feeling you're not a big Kira fan.
I'm fine with Kira. I'm not okay with a show that's pretty much defined by an ensemble, and it seems like every other episode is Major Kira. Seriously, you have easily a cast of, what would you say, like 20, 25?
I think it's much smaller.
I'd say of regular people, there's probably 8 to 10.
And bordering on double digits, let's say.
Well, in an ensemble show, you have focuses on certain characters, some episodes. I mean, that happens all the time in a lot of shows, especially Trek. Sometimes you get more focus, like you have your Odo episodes, your Quark episodes, where some characters might not even feature at all. Yeah. It happens sometimes. You got a lot of seasons. So I get what you're saying, but other characters get their due. So know that.
Oh, no, I mean, let some other people shine for a change. Yes, the Kardashian/Bajoran conflict is important.
Kardashian.
Sorry. Yes,
Kardashians are evil. That made me so
mad
mad when I first heard it on that show.
Yes, the Kardashian and Bajoran conflict is a big deal. Does it need to be front and center in every single episode, though? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It never quite goes away.
And I'm okay with that, but it doesn't need to be the plot point of every single episode, though.
It won't be.
Yeah.
It won't
and that's really where this episode starts falling apart. It's, for a bottle episode, it works as a addition into making me more curious about the DS9 lore. Mm-hmm. It's not so great. I leave with a B-. All
right. Well, Dan, how do you feel about it? You're making some faces.
I loved it.
Okay.
Now, it makes me like Detrell a little bit less, knowing that this episode existed first, because it is, a lot of the same themes are explored, certainly.
Different perspective, okay.
Yeah, but, look, Kira is in the show a lot. I can't deny that. But I really was invested in this story a lot. The whole, internment camp, slave camp thing, I thought was really fascinating. I was curious to see where it was going. I liked hearing sort of her backstory with it. I liked the character of what's his name? I forget his name. The visitor guy.
Yeah.
I remember his name either.
the Cardassian.
Yes.
I really liked his character a lot because who's right and who's wrong, you kind of see as the episode goes along. I agree. The ending is not my favorite part. It sort of just ends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, cool. So I didn't like that part, but no, for me, this was one of the better DS9s. It is unfortunate not to see most of the cast doing much.
True.
Brooks has a couple of lines.
I'm here.
Although Odo's in it a bit.
Yeah.
Briefly.
He has a good scene. No, I thought there were a lot of interesting themes explored about where we're coming from in society, and it certainly brought up some thoughts about our current president, so it's sort of
Interesting.
attached. I attached that to it as well to sort of bring it into the present day.
Trump is gold to cut, huh?
Yeah, not saying he's not. So I thought the story itself is kind of timeless in that regard, because you're always going to have sort of these dictatorship type people and slave camps and all that.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happened, she was on the rescue mission. I mean, she saw a lot of stuff. I don't know. Look, they're obviously attaching a lot to Kira. I can't deny that. She's in most of these episodes, quite heavily featured. But a lot of my favorite DS9 episodes do revolve around her. So maybe that's for the best. I leave it with an A-.
Wow. Well, kind of in between you guys, which happens a lot. I think that this one definitely does explore some pretty awesome themes. That is for sure. And the whole Bajoran Cardassian conflict is definitely a staple of DS9. But it will interest you guys to know probably that the focus is much stronger on the first couple seasons. And of course, it continues to be a circulating theme throughout it, for sure, which is, it's not always focused on Kira. And in fact, when I think about a lot of the later seasons, she's not focused on as much. But that's because the focus shifts more to some characters, like, say, maybe Odo, might have a little bit more to do. But that's because the story goes kind of a different direction, which is, but the thing is, the whole Bajoran Cardassian conflict, because of the setting, it never goes away. So I think that this is just kind of an example of exploring those themes early on and setting a stage. Maybe as its own individual story, it doesn't work quite as well as it could, but I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Honestly. And you're going to get much more of these stories. And maybe, I think, seeing more of the episodes in later seasons might help appreciate it in the bigger scale. I think that's how I look at DS9, with that advantage, I guess.
No. I mean, I feel like if it was building more towards if I thought this episode was going to get us more into the Cardassian Bajoran conflict. Yes, I caught myself.
Yes.
I'd be more okay with it, but it just seems like, oh yes, what can we do with Kira this week? Well, here's this person that may or may not tie into her past.
Well, I mean, that's why I don't think of it as a bottle episode, because it is
It's a bottle episode.
But it's focusing on things that haven't touched on before and will be touched on again, and there might be instances they look at from the past. Like I said, it's just kind of coming back to that conflict and building on it with the knowledge of previous episodes.
Like, for example, Battle Lines I really liked because it felt like we were actually getting into the actual meat of what this conflict actually is and means in the outside world beyond DS9.
Well, I think that there was some of that here.
I think there was, but the fact that it tried to be so self-contained hurt it significantly. And alongside the fact that Kira continues to do things that are borderline Kirk meets Riker.
Well, I don't really. I think Kira's all right. I don't really like her that much. She's not my favorite, or my least favorite.
She's okay.
She's more interesting when they do other things with her later. But Kira is there to represent the Bajoran conflict. She is the catharsis through that, and there is some cool stuff with her you get to see. But once again, it's a lot of episodes like this build up. There will be some ones that are more connected. I do agree. But this is just kind of a precursor, I guess.
I feel like part of what we're used to, though, from certainly TOS, but even the next gen, is
Wrapped up by the end.
well, yeah, but there's a go-to for the captain, Spock, or Riker, first in command. Here and in Voyager, at least so far, the captains don't really do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Brooks does a little more than Janeway, but
Well, Janeway's ridiculously inconsistent because I feel like the writing is so...
Well, that's true.
Scattershot.
That's true.
Consistent,
But
too.
there's some episodes
With-
where she's barely even in.
Well,
is my point.
with
Right.
Cisco, it's a little
You
more
know,
forgivable
a
because
little
the
bit.
station, and so
Yeah.
things might go on off, and
So I think we're maybe not used to a Star Trek series focusing on one person mainly that isn't a captain.
well,
And maybe that's what's tripping us up. I don't know, because
Next Generation does that. That's the first series to do that. I mean,
yeah, but not right away. I mean, in the first season, in the episodes we've seen,
Yeah.
Worf doesn't even exist. I mean, basically,
he doesn't exist. It's true.
Almost doesn't. I mean, in the ones we've watched so far in that first season, it's Picard, it's Data,
Riker.
and Riker. Even Geordi's not in it that much so far.
But the thing is,
So-
Surprisingly.
even those episodes, though, they aren't really that focused on one character. It's just a bunch of people in a situation.
Yeah,
And the character,
that's true.
The character writing hasn't gotten there yet, and Next Gen does that first. Even in TOS, they are sometimes focused on one of the major characters, but the big three are always there. So it's a little more balanced, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess. But even with that, it's not quite as focused as, say, like a Kira episode today.
Yeah.
But that's the advantage as these series go on. They kind of try to evolve the writing a little bit more, and I think DS9 gets better with that as it goes along. But this one was decent. I leave it with a B. I thought it was good, but there's definitely better stuff along the way.
Good to know. Definitely good to know.
Yeah, but that's gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna go back to Voyager. We'll love that.
Yeah.
Love Voyager all the time. Lately, it's been all right.
Not too bad.
Some Tuvok.
I thought that last one stunk.
Yeah, it was all right.
Not great now.
No, I like the Amelia Earhart one a little bit better, but
Well, strong start to a season,
yes,
or end of a last season that was moved.
true.
Yeah.
Maybe, possibly, don't know, but I would believe it. Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye. You guys say goodbye too.
All right. Yep. See ya.
Till the next time.